Hello friends, just a quick update on my vegetable balcony garden, and we're coming into the end of summer, into autumn in Australia. I'm testing out to see how far the plants will go into winter and what I can grow year round on my balcony. I haven't put any plastic on the balcony, so I don't know how it will work as a kind of hothouse. Excuse me. But for now, the tomatoes are finishing. I had a whole lot of cherry tomatoes. I have got new ones started, if you can see here, which they're already growing really lovely. I have capsicum as well. Have to trim the leaves and things, but they're the tomatoes. I have the capsicum still going. They were very late this year, so there's a little capsicum. I have ginger growing there. This is my first time growing ginger. I have basil and herbs that way, plus my cacti. Then I have, so that's the basil. This is a new thing I'm trying. It is an Asian spinach. It is interesting. It grows like a creeper, so we'll see. I'll grow it on the balcony. Then I have the peas here, which need a feed. They need a little fertilizing, I think, because I'm just reusing the same pots and fertilizing. More basil that's going to seed, which I will collect the seeds from her, and the others I'm going to dehydrate. Not the seeds, the basil plants. The cucumbers are finishing. It's the end of the line for them. They have cropped excellently on the balcony. I think I must have got there's two plants, probably 50 or more cucumbers off these two plants, and they're just finishing. I'm experimenting with zucchini over this period. I don't know if it will grow. It's not the correct season. There's another cherry tomato that was self-sown, so I'll let that go. More capsicums that are very late. Another cherry tomato that's late started, so we'll see how long she goes. This is my experiment with sweet potatoes. They're my very first ones. They were nutrient deficient. I think I've corrected that now. The new leaves seem to be good. She hasn't sprouted yet, but these have. And that is a scarlet runner bean. Now they're totally out of season. I'm going to see if they will trellis up my trellises that I have made, these things, and see how long they go over the winter. So it's all experiment. Here again, I have too many things in a bucket, but we'll see. I have another zucchini and another of these scarlet runner beans. So there they are. They're just coming now. Sorry, that's them. We'll see how they go. How she goes, that scarlet runner there. It's on a tomato plant which is finishing. See, so they're finishing for the season. They've done a good season. I'll come and trim all this back. I think I've overwatered this plant. She doesn't look good, but yet the new growth is doing very well. That's rocket. So I'm experimenting with putting salad greens in there. And the last thing is another capsicum, strawberries. They are just coming in. I've just planted them, but then there's lettuce seedlings in there. So I'm really working hard on Grow Food Everywhere and challenging the seasons. This is the first time I'm going to go, really actively through the wrong season to see how long I can keep food growing on the balcony. I may get some of that plastic that you'd put over a hothouse and maybe close this off, but I don't know how nice that would look from the outside. But at the moment, I have my helper here, Chewy, my assistant. It's becoming a really nice little area. I'm saving a lot of seeds. I'm really extending. So a lot of these seeds are my first generation from the spring harvest or from last year's harvest of zucchini or sweet potato or tomato. So I'm trying to acclimatize the seeds from my own garden so that they are acclimatized to this location, and hopefully each generation gets stronger. It's still an experiment. I just thought I'd put my thoughts out there to anyone who's interested. Don't be afraid to experiment. It doesn't matter if it goes wrong. I mean, I'm into some of my seeds, I'm into the 5th generation and they're still going. I don't know, they're probably not all identical to the original seed. Some of the seeds are from supermarkets, some of the seeds are from my own plants, some are heirloom seeds. I'm not being very picky. I'm picking what works, not necessarily limiting myself with only organic or heirloom open pollen. I'm trying to create my own hybrids with the chickens. My flock of chickens will be my own hybrid flock that I have crossed and chosen and selected that would do the best as a dual purpose bird for my home and my family and my land. What I'm trying to get at is that I think it's important to learn the process of life from seed to harvest, and then saving those seeds and then replanting the circle of life on your land. And then you learn what grows best, what varieties. So you would only select, in the end, you're probably only going to grow maybe 10 things. I only have a very small block of land, but those 10 things are very much acclimatized to your land, your soil, your temperatures, everything, your energy, if you believe in that thing, which I do, and therefore they will give you the best nutrition and the best crops. So I used to put in a whole bunch of seeds, and lots of experiment with many crops, and a lot of things we didn't eat, we didn't like. So it's a good process. Don't plant what you're not going to eat. Really, really focus and work hard at getting to know each plant specifically so that it yields the best for you. Work with the plants. I believe our energy and our connection with our gardens is really important as well. It's not just about, it is about soil, development and improvement with lots of how do you call it? With lots of compost and living soils. That's what you want. You want organic and organisms, bacteria. You want mycelium. You want composted leaf twigs. All sorts of things. You want to create a closed loop system. I'm experimenting with a little bit of a permaculture wild garden, and then now for the first time I'm going to create a kitchen garden with rows and purposely planted. So it's not companion planting or guerrilla planting where you throw the seeds and whatever volunteers and grows together works. This is a little bit more with intention and purpose behind it, a bit more controlled. It's my first time that I'm going to do that out the back. Here on the balcony also you select what works and grow that. And the thing is that you have to fertilize. I'm learning more about fertilization because these soils, although they were living from my garden and they have a lot of compost and mulch and manure, but over a season that expires, so you must rejuvenate that. So I'm working on learning that. That's about it. I've selected these cucumbers, have been for the 3rd generation the best yielders. Look at that beautiful thing. I mean, These are little, these are the end. So one of these I'll select to let to go to maturity and collect the seeds off. That's how you do it. Look, here's another one that's still cropping. I really, I'm so amazed. This is the end of the season. It should be finishing, and yet we have so many babies. And the cucumbers have been delicious. I just have to keep the watering up. It requires attention. You can't just leave these things, you know. I hope to get a good pea crop, but I've already made a mistake here and they're very unnourished, so I'm not feeding them properly for some reason. So I'll have a look at that. The nopales have grown really well, so I'm looking forward to next season when I get more branches, I guess you'd call them, trying out some recipes. That's it. The bees like to come up here. As you can see, she's here now, but they're hungry. She's come to get me. They're looking for sugar syrup because we are in a dearth right now. I'll do a video on my bees, my apiary, and shutting them down, starting to lock them up for the coming winter. And I'll be collecting the autumn harvest of honey and feeding them up a little bit so that they are happy and healthy. This has been a long video. Well, I hope that inspires you to grow food anywhere and keep going. I've failed many times. I've tried to grow watermelons and different things on my balcony, and not everything grows. It's just a matter of continuing to keep working on it. Keep trying. You keep trying to push the limits. Don't worry about being a little bit out there, a little bit eccentric. I'm a little bit eccentric, but it's just lovely when you've worked so hard and you succeed. My other experiment is now over the winter I'm working on incubating eggs, but I didn't buy an incubator. I bought a second-hand yogurt maker I found at the op shop. I bought it for like $1. And I thought, well, it might work. If it works, that would be great, because my poor little silky hens can only hatch 2 eggs at a time of my hybrid super chickens, which are very big eggs. This way I can get 6. So each batch. We'll see how we go. I've got lots of plans for the future, garden-wise and poultry-wise. The bees are important to me, so we'll see. I guess when there's a need, you know, things are getting very expensive and out of our price range in some times. When there's a need, it really creates, it helps you to rise up to your creativity, because you must solve problems. You must work, you know, in collaboration, grow some food, buy some food. You're not so dependent. You start to learn and think of ways to become a bit more self-sufficient, a bit more independent, and that's always a good thing, because you never know what's around the corner. I'm not here to talk about doom and gloom and the end of the world and we're all doomed. I think, on the contrary, I think these opportunities are great for all of us to rise up and find out what we're made of, how to learn to support each other and create tight networks of family. You know, you really start to see the cracks in relationships and where you can do things better and how you can grow into a better person every day and keep busy working, be of service to your community, to your families, to your God, if you believe. Try and be good and do good in the world. And I like to grow things. I'm all about life, generating life, supporting life in some way. That's what I've been focusing on, rather than on death or the potentiality of death and suffering and hardships. Yes, life's hard. I feel I'm very privileged and I'm very, very lucky to be here in Australia. That's my opinion. I mean, my story is that we came as immigrants and refugees from South America to Australia when I was very little, and we're very grateful to this country for having received us and for taking care of us. We have everything that we need, no more and no less than anyone else. We're not extravagant people, we're very humble people. I've chosen to be a stay-at-home mother to my 4 children, our 4 children. My husband is out there working so hard. I'm very proud of him. And what can I do? Well, what I instinctually know from my culture and from what I feel is to learn to grow, learn to process foods, learn to home cook very well, and to make the simple things, bread, cakes. I mean, that's simple, isn't it? Pasta. How would I feed my family if things get tough, if my husband can't work? I think about those things. I'm not trying, and I'm not in a negative, depressed way, in a proactive, positive way, so that I have a plan. I like to have a plan of what I could potentially do. So that's just how I am. Anyway, so that's why I'm going off on a bit of a spiel. But that is the reasoning behind the Grow Food Everywhere, and really getting to learn my land and the areas and the zones and what works, what doesn't, and how to support life to grow there that can nourish us in turn and nourish my animals, and creating a closed loop circuit. So that's it. Thank you for watching, friends. I hope you're all doing well. Always happy to hear if you have any comments about what you're doing, if you'd like to share what you're doing on a video or comments. I'm really keen to get to talking with people who are on the same page, feeling the same thing, and creating a community online. I'm quite a shy person. I haven't really put myself out there as much as I could. I'm starting to have the confidence now and talk a bit more on my videos. I don't know I think there's a lot of people out there doing this, which is lovely to see. I for sure am inspired by other videos. So there it is. Grow food. You can grow food anywhere. It takes, you have to tend to things, take care of it, work with it. You can't just leave things. It takes effort, but it's an effort, and it's work that's well rewarded. So just hope that you get inspired to have a go. Thank you, friends. I hope you're all well. Take care. Bye for now.